Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying, so let them help you. And also brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. So I got together with the teachers at travelingtechteacher.com and we've come up with a work from home type of episode, I guess you could say. Both of our both of our feeds have this. Hey, Maddie, thank you for joining the show. Both of our, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling, guys. It shows you I'm not perfect. Both of our feeds are carrying this work from home 5 steps that you can do. So please go share it, comment on both of our feeds. Show us some love by smashing that heart on both of our feeds. We really appreciate that. So let's get started with this work from home. First, let me tell you guys, you may not know this, I've been working from home for a very long time. In 92, I worked from home. Then I went and got a job with the United States Postal Service, and I got a job working in different outlets as a photographer for newspapers, in advertising firms, and now I'm back into working at home. I've been doing it well before the pandemic, so I think because of that, that kind of makes me an expert on how to deal with the best way to get the best productivity out of what you're doing. So let's begin. So number one is set up your workplace. That's very important. If you've got a sloppy workplace, it's going to be very hard for you to kind of do what you need to do for the day. So find an area in your home that's conductive to working. Okay, whether it's a desk or a couch, just make sure it allows you to stay focused. That's the main important part. Okay, guys. Number 2, stick to your routine. Okay, if before you worked at home, you got up early, you took a shower, you had breakfast, or you just had a cup of OJ, which is very good for you in the morning, then stick to that routine. The worst thing you can do is to not shower because there's no one else around you, right? You're the only one that has to, smell your funk, so you don't shower. But believe it or not, when you relax too much like that, you're really not productive. Yeah, honestly, it's comfortable, yes, to work in your PJs. Sometimes I'll admit I'm creating a film and I'm working in PJs, and that's great. But sometimes if you get too relaxed, you're not as productive. So keep that in mind, okay? Keep in mind that this helps prepare your mind and body for a productive work day, okay? Keep that in mind, guys. Number 3, I have a to-do list. Now, for me, I create my to-do list before, the night before. But you can create it that day of. You can make it part of your daily routine to drink with your OJ or to have with your breakfast to create your list of what you want to do. But for me, and you might want to try this, I like to create it the day before. So I have a to-do list before you start. Write down your priorities for the day. Set up pockets of time to complete your task and make sure you stick to your schedule. That's important. If, by noon you must have a certain project done, make sure you stick to that. Don't panic and get anxiety if you didn't meet that, but try your best to make sure to stick to that. All right, let's see. Number 4, communicate with others. Okay, that's important. Check in with your boss, check in with your colleagues, um, update them on where you're at. If you're, especially if you're not going to be able to make a project, like for me, you guys know, uh, in the film industry and even in the advertising industry, certain things must be done at certain times, deadlines, they call them. If you can't meet your deadline, definitely reach out to your boss before you miss your deadline. Okay, it's not good to say, hey, you know, if your deadline's at noon, like I said, and you're calling at 12:05, I'm not going to make the deadline. Your boss has figured it out. Always call as soon as you know you're not going to make your deadline. That's, to me, that's the best thing to do. If it's 10 o'clock in the morning and you realize that at 12 you're not going to meet that deadline, that's the time to call. Give your bosses a chance to be able to put someone else up to help you, or put someone else on that project. It's their butts on the line, right? That's a good way to keep your boss from bullying you too. If you communicate with them and stick with them and not get them in any kind of trouble, they're more likely to want to work with you and not bully you. Even though if you did those things, it's not right for them to bully you. But that's a different subject. So, and number 5, before we get to number 5, I want to let you know that this episode and all episodes are brought to you by thebullyexposed.com. Get your Be Kind t-shirt at thebullyexposed.com, and by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Okay, number 5. Now, number 5, before I get to number 5, I want to tell you, number 5 was very hard for me to get into. Lots of times, and that's take a break. I guess I should tell you that, right, guys? Take a break. Lots of times I would just work through lunch, work through everything, and then by the end of the day, I'm so fatigued. And then I come in the next day and I'm looking at some of the work I'm doing, and sometimes it's good, but on real bad days, I'm like, why did I do this? Why am I? And I almost have to restart everything all over. So take breaks, guys. That's important. The key is balance, guys. Give yourself enough time during the day to walk away from your computer, move around, take a step back. Don't forget, most importantly, guys, don't forget to clock out at the end of your shift, both mentally and physically. Now, sometimes I know that if I leave my computer and I've had maybe an issue with an ad that wasn't quite working for me, that yes, I wouldn't clock out mentally. I would clock out physically, but I wouldn't clock out mentally. And if you do that, just make sure it's not something that causes you anxiety, because for me that has helped me. I have went home, or stepped away from my computer, depending on what situation I'm in, and I'm thinking of this thing. What can I do to make this work? Because it's not quite working the way I'm thinking. And as long as I don't create any anxiety about it, thank you for joining us. What's up? Thank you for joining us. I hope I pronounced that right. As long as I don't cause any anxiety to this thinking process when I step away from my computer, it's going to be all right. And it's starting to rain. I wonder if you guys can hear that rain. You can hear the rain on my roof. So don't do that. That's the important part. And I think that's why people say, take a break, or to clock out mentally. As long as you don't cause any anxiety, you should be all right. That's the way I look at it. So thank you so much for joining us today on this working from home. Let me give my last opinion. My last opinion is, I think that companies that can allow people to work from home, they should start doing that. Set it up so that people can work from home, because I think that's the best thing. To me, I think that's the that's the positive thing that we can take out of this COVID situation, is that a lot of companies learned uh, that they can take a lot of people and work them from home. And I'm not talking about teachers. I think students and teachers should be in the classroom. I'm talking about other types of work. And okay, so as we normally do, let's go through that again. Brought to you by travelingtechteacher.com. Number 5, take a break, guys. Take a break. Check out mentally as well as physically. Number 4, communicate with others. Number 5, create yourself a to-do list the day before, most likely, if you can. That was number 3. I'm sorry. Number 3 was have a to-do list. Number 2, stick to your routine. All right, that's very important. And number 1, working from home tip, brought to you by thebullyexposed.com and Traveling Tech Teacher, is set up your workplace. Set it up nice. All right. So that's going to do it for us today, guys. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank Maddie for tuning in. And what's up? I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I want to remind you guys that live feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher for all your digital resources. Check out travelingtechteacher.com and by thebullyexposed.com. Get your Be Kind t-shirt, guys. What are you waiting for? Get your Be Kind t-shirt at thebullyexposed.com. Remember, this post is on our post. Please be sure to like it. Please be sure to give us an idea. Did we miss anything? Is there anything that we should have added? Place that in the comments below. And also, go and smash the heart on travelingtechteacher.com on this post and all her posts, because she worked with us to create this work from home episode. So remember, guys, anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another, guys, and have a great day. Bye now.